Come join us as we take you on a trip from the practice pen to the show arena and let you listen in as top trainers prepare their students to compete in the Western industry's most exciting equine sport. And you'll learn what it takes to become a top weekend cutter.
Brought to you by Roger Peters Livestock Insurers.
You know, insurance is a daily part of our lives. We insure ourselves, we insure our trucks, we insure our trailers. Roger Peters Livestock Insurers is where you go. Roger Peters Livestock Insurers has been an agent for Great American Insurance for over 35 years. Remember, no vet checks up to $100,000, whether it's a private treaty sale or a catalog sale. Call Connie or Stacy at this number and get yourself some peace of mind and insure your performance horse with Roger Peters Livestock Insurers. The rural American lifestyle. It's how we work, and it's how we play. It's how we learn and how we enjoy the finer things in life. How we take care of our animals and tend to the land. It's a way of life. Has been for hundreds of years. Now there's a whole new way for rural America to watch TV. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Cuttin Up. I'm Kenny Emi, your host. This week's episode is brought to you by Roger Peters Livestock Insurers. Remember, no vet checks up to $100,000 in value on your performance horse prospect. Doesn't matter if it's a catalog sale or a private treaty sale. All you've got to do is call Connie or Stacy. They'll fax you an application, sign it, send it back, you're insured. It's that easy. They've been an agent for Great American Insurance for over 35 years. That's staying power, and that's who you want insuring your horse. This week's episode, we're going to go to Salisbury, North Carolina, the open class, and check out some of that action. So let's head to Salisbury. Well, here we are in Salisbury, North Carolina, and first cutter up is Mr. Jerry King. Jerry is also the host of From the Ground Up, a great show on Farm and Ranch TV. Jerry's mounted on Missy Kitty. This is your highlights from the open class from Carlton's Place there in Salisbury. They do a great job putting on these club cuttings, and everybody just has a wonderful time. They come out and cut and have some fellowship with friends and family. They put on a big feed for everybody. Let's watch Jerry walk in here. Jerry's an accomplished trainer. Does a lot in the cutting horse world out on the East Coast. He's going to drive him one of these blacks out right up here off the top. Just taking a few up, cutting shape on that last one, gets his hand down. Not really the kind of cow that Jerry wanted to start the run off with. Wasn't bad, just wasn't real positive for him. He's going to go in there and see if he can get him a little better cow. He's got a few of them out in front of him to choose from. He's kind of letting them drift a little bit. Going to work towards the head of that black one. He's got his hand down. He's ready to go to work. Didn't spend a whole lot of time on that one. Still got a lot of time on the clock. Now's going to be his opportunity to make a deep cut. Bring quite a few cows up to the top. He work through there and
30 seconds.
See which one he wants. I'm sure he's listening to his help, and they're kind of talking about the herd. Everything's fresh, you know, he's Jerry's first up, so. And he's got his hand down. He's going to finish up. 6 seconds left on the clock. Not a whole lot of cow to finish up with, but they mark him a 71. Good job, Jerry. Be sure and watch From the Ground Up on Farm and Ranch TV. That's Jerry's show. Our next rider is Brian Griffin riding Squirt. Well built little red roan. Let's see what Squirt and Brian can get done. He's listening to his help. They're talking about something. He's gonna take him quite a few up. I don't know if they're talking about something or sharing a joke, because Brian was laughing. Pretty casual at this club cutting in Salisbury at Tim and Becky Carlton's place. This little cow's going to try him real hard. He's going to get off that one before it gets him in a bad spot. Got a minute and 35. He's going to find him another one to drive out of the herd. He's got his eyes set on one. Kind of paired up for him, and he's going to have to depend on his help to help him clear that traffic so he can get to the cow he's eyeballing right now. And he's got his cut made. That little cow was driving him back in the herd pretty hard. At a big cutting, it might hit him with a disturbing herd penalty. That's when that cow drives you back so far that you take a chance on jumping one or two out of the herd. It's always good to get lots of real estate between the herd and you when you get your hand down. He's got this big black picked out and got his hand down. Him and Squirt's working with 15 seconds left. And that's how he's going to finish up right there. A little bit of a miss. Might hurt him on his score. But all in all, it wasn't bad. It's pretty casual. Salisbury, North Carolina, club cutting. Everybody's just having a good time.
We have a score of 69.5 for Brian Griffin on Squirt.
It's a good place, pretty place to get out and get your horses showed. And speaking of Tim and Becky Carlton and this club cutting they put on there in Salisbury, here's Tim Carlton.
Tim Carlton
riding
of
Highbrow Cougar
is entering the arena.
Tim's quite an accomplished horseman. Was a non-pro for many years. Hung his shingle out, and now he tries to help bring people into the sport. Not with just helping them with them and their horse, but putting on these cuttings so his colleagues and folks from the area can have a place to come and work some fresh cattle. Tim's got him one drove out. Got his hand down. Highbrow Cougar looking pretty sharp, even though this cow took him all the way to the fence. It's kind of out of that perfect area, the middle third. The Highbrow Cougar will get down in the dirt with one right here. Pretty sharp moving horse. Tim's done a good job. Tim's looking in there to see what he wants to work out of the herd. He's looking for a fresh cow. Listening to the help. They're all, when you got a bunch of blacks, it's kind of hard to keep an eye on them. You need to depend on your help. Horse might have got a little confused right there on what cow they was going to cut, but He's dialed in now. Pretty stopping horse. Tim's going to be looking for a spot to get off of this one, and he's got it.
30 seconds.
Now, Tim's walked to the herd enough times to know what it's going to take. He knows he's got to bring quite a few cows out to get him one or two fresh ones. 9 seconds left. He's going to cut shape on that last one, and he's cutting. Doing a good job too, finishing up. That may do him all right there.
We have a score of 72.
And to mark him as 72, he's going to win that open class.
We just finished the open, folks. Now we're going to start the non-pro at the Triple C Bar Ranch.
Well, now we're going to start off with the non-pro. This is going to be Melissa Alexander on Bet This Cat Can Cut. Melissa's walking to the herd on a fresh set of cattle. Everything's fresh, so she's just got to figure out which one she likes the best. Watching the flow. And she's got her one, hand down, and she's cutting. Looks like a strong moving pony she's riding. And she's got her spot to get off. That's a good quit. While we're talking about that, a legal quit is when that cow has completely stopped or moving away from you. A lot of cutters, when they're getting started off, have a little trouble getting that down pat, making a clean cut, but working with a trainer will fix that problem. Melissa's got some traffic, and her horse kind of gets confused on which one they're going to work. But she's got her hand down now, and she's working one. Fast moving little cow too. Melissa's staying right there with him. She gets her spot to get off when that cow turns away from her. That was a good legal quit. 20 seconds left on the clock. Melissa's got her one picked out, drives him out, and gets her hand down.
Score of
And
70 for Melissa Alexander.
Next up is Kay Connor riding Cooper here in Salisbury, North Carolina at Tim and Becky Carlton's place. They put on these cuttings about once a month, I believe. Gives all these folks in the area a chance to come and work their horses in a little bit more relaxed atmosphere. Brian kind of giving her a little advice right there as she's walking to the herd. Drives Cooper in there. She's kind of got her eyes on a bunch she's going to bring out. Maybe see how the flow works. Listening to her help. And she's got her one picked out and her hands down. She's going to have to let her help kind of move this cow. It's one to start off and be kind of slow, but her help's doing her a good job, and she finds her a spot to get off. Maybe she can find her one now to help her win this non-pro class. Yeah, it's kind of warm the day we was there, and you notice some folks has got on t-shirts. It's kind of just a relaxed atmosphere. It's not all the rules and regulations that go with the big shows. It's everybody just having a good time. It's an old school cutting, is what I like to call it.
Miss
Kay's working this one right here, kind of keeping him in the middle third of the pen. Her help's helping her do just that. A little better cow than she started off with. "10 seconds left. She got off that one. She's got to chip her one real quick. And she's going to die in the herd.
72.
Score of 72. For
And they
Kay
marked her
Connor
as
on
72.
Cooper.
Good job, Cooper. Next up's Tom Proctor on Frosty Red Baker. Tom's got Jerry King in the corner there talking to him. They're talking about some cows, I'm sure. Tom's just gonna chip him a couple off the top, see if he can get them separated and get his hand down. And his hand's down, he's cutting. A little bit of a miss right there, maybe. Now it looks like he's centered back up. And he gets off that one. Got well over a minute. Plenty of time. He's in there. He's asking Jerry if one of them two that popped out up top were fresh. He's looking at that one right there on the back. And he's going to option off right there for the one at the back of the flow. That's called cutting shape.
"30 seconds.
Little horse is wanting to be good. Tom gets him a spot to get off. 20 seconds left. Optimum time you want. Needs to get in there and get him something cut. And the buzzer's gonna sound before he gets one cut.
We have a score of 71 and a half
71 and a half.
for Tom Proctor on Frosty
Good
Red
job,
Baker.
Tom.
Hi, I'm Becky Carlton from Salisbury, North Carolina, and Cuttin Up will be right back after these messages.
We've been feeding bluebonnet feeds for the last 4 to 5 years. A lot of the reasons why we started feeding bluebonnet feeds is we were looking for a consistent product that was very, very high quality. I'm in a performance horse industry where the conditioning of the hair coat, tone, and structure is very, very important. I feel like bluebonnet provides that. 3 things that made us move to bluebonnet: quality, consistency of the feed, and the customer service of it.
Perfection starts with the perfect forage. Perfectly grown, perfectly processed. No waste, no GMOs, no additives, all natural. The perfect forage for your horse is Select Way Premium Alfalfa Cubes. Just perfect. Contact us directly at midwayforage.com. Well, thanks for staying with us. Now let's head back to Salisbury, North Carolina for the amateur class. And now we're down to the amateur class. Melissa Alexander entered up in this class as well on Bet This Cat Can Cut. There's Tim Carlton, the host, over there in the corner. Melissa's got her couple volunteers right there on the top. See if she can get them separated and get her hand down. And she's cutting. And that cow was just planning on leaving the cutting without even eating dinner with everybody. That's how rude. Melissa's going to go in there and get her second cow. Looks like she's going to bring a few more than she did on that first cut. She's going to cut shape. This one trailing the back of the herd is going to be her cow. Bet This Cat Can Cut. Can cut. I don't blame them cows either. It's getting a little warm. I'd want to go over there and get in the shade as well. Nice cool shady spot right there. He's going to take her across the pen and she finds her a spot to get off.
Seconds.
Melissa's going to go in and get her last cow. Really doesn't need to go too deep. She's got quite a few of them. And she cut shape again right on the end of the herd and her hands down. 8 seconds left and she's cutting. Ooh, big old stop.
A score of 71.
Good job, Melissa.
For Melissa
Judge marks her a
Alexander on Bet This
71.
Cat Can Cut.
Melissa says it's a little warm. Next up is Rusty Myers on King Zeus Tivio. Rusty rides there with Tim Carlton. Just kind of getting into the sport, having a good time, and Tim's helping him out, and he's learning a lot. And he's got his hand down. Right now, Rusty is doing everything correct, especially for the fact that he is a true amateur.
Drive that eye way out.
Help gets that cow back in play, and Rusty's cutting. Rusty's going to need to find him a spot to get off here pretty quick.
Shit.
And he's got it. About 30 seconds left on the clock. It's a good amount of time to go in there and make your last cut. Show the judge your horse working that cow a little bit.
Up, up, up. Keep going out. Come on out. Come on out.
Rusty's got his decision made on that last one, and he's cutting it. 10 seconds left. Him and King Zeus Tivio is doing a good job. Just a great job from an amateur cutter. He's just getting started. Marks him a 70 and got a grin on his face. That's what it's all about right there. Well, that was all the action from Salisbury, North Carolina. Now let's talk to the man that put it all together, Tim Carlton. Tim, thank you for having us. Thank you for letting us come out to your show. I got a few things I want to ask you. First of all, Tim, what gave you the idea to start putting these jackpot cuttings on at your place in Salisbury, North Carolina?
Well, just no one has a place to go to practice or to get used to showing. That's the way I got my start from. They had jackpots, usually 1 or 2 a month. And that's the way I learned to cut cattle and show and, you know, ride your horse. And I said, if you got no place to practice and you go into major shows, it's just a little harder to be successful. And that's why I'm having this, where people come and practice and kind of get to know their horse and how to show their horse and, you know, be more comfortable doing it.
Tim, how many first-timers do you think you had here at this cutting walking to the herd in Salisbury, North Carolina?
There was probably first-timers, there was probably at least 10 first-timers. Some of them, you know, we have no rules on how many entries, how many you can enter or whose horse you ride, so it's not restricted that you have to own your own horse. So it gives people that want to try the game out, have a horse to ride and show. And most of the folks here are kind of people that I know, and they'll help each other out just like it's one of their customers. And so basically that's what we do, is just try to get people interested and comfortable with showing, and it kind of helps the whole market out.
That's amazing, Tim. Do you see this as a positive for the larger organized associations, as a place for their members to get their feet wet, learn some showmanship abilities, learn how to be one with their horse?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, if a guy goes out and he's interested and he goes and buys some nice horses and goes to a major show and he doesn't do well, if he does that several times, he's either going to quit or get disgusted and not go as often. But when they can start at a lower level, builds their confidence level up, it helps the industry, it helps recruit more people into the NCHA, and you know, I've been a member since 1982, and I showed non-pro for 25 years, and like I said, that's the way I learned, is going to jackpots. And if it hadn't been for the jackpots, I may have stayed in and may not have, but it helped me get my confidence level up and helped me get familiar with what was going on, and I think it's very important to have that available to the cutters that are starting out.
How do you see this cutting and club cuttings in general benefiting your area of the United States? I mean, you've got Area 18, NCHA, which is a large area just south of you. You've got other areas that are kind of touching the borders here, and you're kind of centrally located. How do you see this helping your area of the United States, which has been starving for cuttings to go to for a number of years now?
Well, personally, I'm not trying to compete with anybody in the horse business or the cutting industry. Just kind of trying to do my own thing because I like to help folks out that's starting out, to make sure they have the right horse that suits them and they're comfortable and their confidence level is there so that they feel comfortable going into the show pen. Sure, it's going to help the industry, it's going to help the horse industry and the cutting industry, but I'm not there to compete, but I do support, and I always have supported NCHA and trying to recruit members. When I started training back about 6 years ago, taking outside horses, I brought in about 10 or 15 new members, started in the cutting industry. So, you know, I'm kind of a recruiter, plus I like to make sure that people get the right start, but really I'm not competing against any other associations or anything like that.
Tim, your show here in Salisbury, North Carolina is the epitome of grassroots cutting, and you're giving a lot of people that may be intimidated by stepping into the big show and giving them a way to get their feet wet, improve their showmanship abilities and skills, as well as communicating with their horse and giving them a place to start. Like I said before, this is old school style, and it's great. There's only a few classes. People can come in and really learn our sport. These people may or may not, but a majority of them end up running for top 15 standings in the NCHA. Some of them ultimately end up buying 3-year-olds, and their trainers get opportunities to take them to Fort Worth or to one of the big aged events. It's got to be gratifying for you and Ms. Becky to know that you're helping at the grassroots level. You're bringing people into the sport.
Well, you know, we all have to get bit to stay in this business because it is a tough business, but you know, I always say if people start out right and they're with the right person that can help them be comfortable in their riding skills and showing skills. Yeah, I've marked probably more 60s and zeros than anyone in the industry, but it's kept me in the business for 40-some years, and I enjoy doing it and sharing what I've learned through all these years. And it's just, when you have nice folks around and you're having fun on horses, and the cutting basically is what I like more than anything. It's just gratifying to see people enjoy what they're doing.
Tim, how do people find out about your club cuttings?
Well, we post it on my Facebook page, and normally the schedule is going to be every second weekend of the month. We'll have 5 shows this year. Give a buckle away each show. Weather changes, we'll change it from an afternoon show to a morning show, but mainly on Facebook is where you find out, and my Facebook page is Tim Carlton. You can befriend me or see it on our Facebook page.
Awesome, thank you, Tim. I want a sincere thank you, not for what you're doing for the folks that are within driving distance of Salisbury, North Carolina, but for what you and Miss Becky are doing for our sport. Bringing folks in at the grassroots level. I watched a number of first-timers walk to the herd. They may have not gotten along like you would see at a number of cuttings around the country with more finished horses and competitors, but they're getting their feet wet, they're learning what our sport's about, and they will get bit by the bug and get to enjoy our sport and may even become superstars in our sport at the larger big show level. So a huge and sincere thank you from myself, Cuttin Up TV, and Farm and Ranch TV. You're doing an amazing thing.
We sure appreciate y'all guys coming out, and hope you can come back again, and glad you enjoyed yourself.
We'll be back as soon as we possibly can, I guarantee you that.
Thank you.
Well, that was Tim Carlton. We want to say a big thank you to him. Remember, find out where those club cuttings, jackpot cuttings are going on in your part of the country. Like I said, they're going on from Florida to the Carolina coast. Find out where they are. Get your feet wet. Enjoy our sport. Enjoy the people in our sport, and you'll have a lot of fun. You never know. You may be the next big superstar in the world of cutting horses.
I always wanted to cut once I saw it. You know, I lived right around the corner from Shorty Freeman in Scottsdale there, and Don Dodge was over there at Shorty's, and I'd heard about Docalina and what a cool horse he was, and so I went over to Shorty's one day, and I got to see that horse right after he won the Futurity, and I was kind of enamored by him. He was just a little horse, you know. I expected to see this big old, you know, spectacular looking horse, but he was such a great athlete, you know, but he didn't have that presence that I thought he'd have after hearing about his reputation. But I sat on the fence. I'd watch Shorty work, and I'd watch Don work, and Shorty hardly talk to you, but Don, he'd talk to you. And so Don and I became friends, and Don moved next door to my place out on 108th Street and Shea Boulevard, and went at Dr. Hancock's place next door. So I used to go over there and ride with Don. And the first day I went there to ride with Don, Don said, Al, he said, I'd like to help you a little bit, but I'll tell you, he said, you can steal my horse, you can steal my bridles, but if you touch my girlfriend, I'll kill you. I always got a kick out of that. You know, he was one of the major characters of all time in my career, and it was a great influence on me. The first time I went to the cutting fraternity, he set me up down there, and Don didn't have a horse that day, that year, so he set me up down there to go to Matlock's place. And I'd heard about Matlock, and I was so intimidated by him, and I went there and worked my horses with Matlock, and Sonny Rice was there, and oh gosh, there were some great guys there. Dale Wilkinson was there. Anyway, it was just a fabulous group of guys and icons, you know. So I was thrilled to get to work there at Matlock's, and I had a really cool little mare that I showed named Oakland, and Matlock ended up buying her. You know, she was such a good horse, and I knew what I was doing. I trained a pretty good horse, but anyway, those guys really made me up my level and want to cut even more. And that in those days, I was training reiners and cow horses, and I've trained about everything: Western pleasure horses and halter horses, and you name it, I've done, jumping horses. But I got around Don and Shorty and Matlock and Mr. Pat and got to meet Buster, and you know, guys that were icons, guys that are legends. And I thought, you know, I'd won a lot in that other stuff, and I want to finish my career being a cutter.
Hi, this is Ty Seiner from Walla Walla, Washington, and Cuttin' Up will be right back after these messages on Farm and Ranch TV.
Big Truck and Diesel staff have been serving the Houston, Texas area for over 25 years. We are masters at computer diagnostics for Cummins, Caterpillar, and Detroit engines in all makes of heavy trucks, offering bumper-to-bumper repairs and preventive maintenance. We'll get you back on the road as soon as possible. Call 713-448-9928 or visit BigTruckandDiesel.com.
Hi, I am Kathy Reiserfoot. My husband Jonathan and I have insured with Roger Peters Livestock for over 30 years. Our most recent issue was I was showing our mare. We were sitting 4th in the world and she tore a suspensory. Our insurance coverage is the reason we were able to continue on with Lola. And I so appreciate Roger Peters Livestock Insurance.
Hey everybody, Kenny Emai, Business Development Manager for Farm and Ranch TV. Now available, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Android TV, our website, farmandranch.tv, on all your tablets and smartphones, Apple, Android, doesn't matter. You'll be able to see us any way you want. Farm and Ranch TV, the future of rural programming.
But Symbiont helps us reduce, if not eliminate, our worries on EHV1, E. coli, Salmonella, Staph, Listeria, and H1N1. You can't ask for much more than that.
Hi, it's Ryan Elrod from Terrebonne, Oregon. Welcome back to Cuttin' Up.
This is Harry Snyder, and we're going to work on just, this horse wants to kind of travel sideways across the pen a little bit on him. So we want to work on just making this horse travel straight with this flag to just get him hitting his stop square, okay? So this is what we're going to work on, working the flag to get this horse ready to go show. Okay? All right. Well, I just want you, I want you to stop him, but be smooth. Shorten your reins up a little bit. That's it. Make sure they're even. Your right rein shorter than your left. There you go. Now loosen this one just a little. There you go. Okay. Let's go ahead and step him up there. And remember, we're going to go straight to those stops. I want you to back him up a step or two, and then we're going to let that flag turn him. Just go straight. See how you're faded just a little bit. Pick your hand up and help him go straight with your foot. There you go. Pick your hand up and use your help there, just like that. See, you're still faded away there a little bit. Harry, step him up to that flag. He's smooth, smooth. Relax your body, relax your body. Good. Now right there, back him up a step or two. Good. Now let that flag turn him. There you go. Now that was a lot better. Good. Straight to that. So back him up. Good. Now step him right up there to it a little. Good. Very good. Okay, coming to me, coming this way next time, Harry. I want you to pick your hand up to help your feet and ride him straight to me, all right? Straight. Nope, not off. See right there, you made him go off. You want him to go straight. Pick your hand up and just make him go straight. There, now, good. Now put your hand down. Good. 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 A little bit of right foot. There you go. A little bit of right foot. There. Perfect. Good. Little, perfect. Good. Easy, be smooth. Now we're going to come back this way, straight. Good. 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 Quit your horse right there. Perfect. Right. Okay. So just how we work that flag is how we want to go work that cow. You see how you made him go straight with that flag? And you see how he stopped square and harder? And then he rolled, he wanted to draw and roll over them hocks a lot more. So that's what you want to do. It's being positioning on that cow and riding straight to the stop. Okay? That's what you need to do. All right, good luck. Yeah, Harry, he's only been cutting for about a year. He's a new customer to me. He's been riding with me for about 3 weeks now. Harry doesn't live close to me. He lives about 4 hours away. So when he comes, he stays in his living quarters trailer and he'll work for a couple days at a time and then he'll go back home. So this is the second show Harry has been riding with me. The first show, we had like 2 days of lessons and we came to a show here in Madras, Oregon. And, our scores were 68, 69. At this show here, he's been 71s and 72s. So we're making progress. He's been riding with me for about a month. He's been cutting for a year. He's got a really nice gelding. Can't remember how this horse is bred, but he's a 17-year-old gelding. He's won 65,000. A great horse for this man to learn on and learn how to show. All right, Harry, let's take some cattle and bring them up here, okay? And I'm going to direct you from there. But the little solid red cow is still fresh, okay? The little red? Okay, well, don't cut the little red. See, walk up that right edge, Harry. Look on the right side. Brown cow, right up to the neck. Good, now both feet, go stop that cow. Good. Watch his eye. Watch his eye. Hey. Watch his eye. Good. Both feet, come on, stop that cow. There you go. Stop that cow. Good. Watch his eye. Watch his eye. There you go. Okay, right there. Good. Just take some cattle. Let's walk up this left side. See the black cow second in on the edge right there with the ringworm around his eye? Never mind. Stay on this edge. That's it. Keep walking. Slide over. Get to the neck. Get to the neck. There you go. Good cut. Now watch that cow's eye. Both feet. Go stop it. Go stop it. There you go. Good. All the way. Both feet. Good. Sit there. Sit. Both feet there up. There you go. Good. Feet. Good. Watch his eye. Be balanced. There you go. Good job. Okay, let's go make another good cut. Look way up top here. See this top black cow? Up. Get to his neck. Come on. Up, 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 up. Stay with it. Good. Watch his eye now. Sit. That way. Sit. Left foot. Good. Sit. Both feet. Go. There you go. Sit. Good.
Thank you, Harry. The score from Boyd and Mike Mark and Harry Snyder is 71.5.
So we've just been kind of working on little things with Harry. Yeah, you know, just on him kind of seeing positioning on that cow. Good. We just on that second cow, we got caught being long to the left and short to that right. Okay. Yeah. So it's just little things, you know, like you cut your cows good. You know, we just needed to be more balanced on them cows we were working. You know, we were good on the first cow. Second cow, we got a little off kilter, all right? Yeah, that's what we've been working on with Harry, is just, you know, kind of seeing where he's at on a cow and learning how to use his feet properly to be balanced, to ride his horse, to go stop that cow and be balanced on a cow.
Welcome to this segment of Horse Health Today. In a previous episode, we had talked about trace minerals. Now let's dive just a little bit deeper into that. When I say trace minerals, what I mean is copper, zinc, and manganese. Now those three are particularly important for the horse's health, and they are not in forages in adequate amounts, so it's important for us to supplement these back into the diet, either through a trace mineral package or through a fortified feed. Now copper, zinc, and manganese are going to play a very critical role in hoof strength and hoof integrity. I know we give biotin all of the credit, but really copper, zinc, and manganese trace minerals are critical in that hoof health and that hoof integrity. When we're talking about the coat condition, everybody wants to see a shiny coat with dapples. Well, those trace minerals, copper, zinc, and manganese, play a really important role in the coloring of a horse's coat. So if you can provide those minerals in proper amounts and then also in proper ratios. So sometimes people get hung up on adding just a single mineral. So let's say you've got someone who's feeding one of Bluebonnet's complete finished fortified feeds. We have formulated those minerals in a very specific ratio. If a customer were to come in and add, say, just zinc on top of that, it really throws out of balance the rest of those mineral profiles and can actually start tying up other minerals and prevent absorption. Now, another really key component in trace minerals is the source of them. Now, there are two different types, generic types. So we have inorganic minerals, which are your oxides and your sulfates, and then we have organic mineral sources. At Bluebonnet Feeds, we choose to use organic mineral sources because they are much more absorbable by the horse. And there's been research out there that's shown that organic minerals are actually up to 400% more absorbable to a horse than inorganic minerals. Now, why is that important? Or actually, let's try to put this in perspective. So I tell people sometimes to think about an airplane terminal. We've all flown, hopefully. Anybody from the public can go from the street into the airport terminal, right? If you're dropping people off, anybody can go through there without any checkpoints. There's no security. Now, think about that as a feed that has both organics and inorganics. All of those minerals can make it into the body, and they can make it through that very first barrier. Now, once they're all through that first barrier, there's a second barrier that they have to get through. Think of that second barrier as being the security point in the airport. Now, only the people who are going to be flying can get past that next section. So, same thing with your minerals. Only the organic minerals can get past this next section. It leaves behind all of the inorganics. Now, there's a third area. Only the people that have a ticket can get onto a certain plane. And that's where it comes into play with these organics. Only certain organics can actually get into the body and get absorbed in the way that can help that animal in the most efficient way possible. So, at Bluebonnet Feeds, we encourage you to use trace minerals, use them in the proper ratios, and always look for organic sources. Thank you for joining us on Horse Health Today.
Hi, I'm Mike Crumpler from Burnett, Texas, and I'd like to talk to you a few seconds about this bit right here. This is a clapper. It's got a semi-cavalry shank on it with a 2-inch purchase. Solid port mouthpiece. It's a little quick action bit. It's not nearly as severe as what it looks. It's one of my favorite bits that I use, show in most of the time. Really got a good feel to it. This bit right here has got a set of 7-foot weighted in bridle reins on it, real thick, just to give you more weight in your hand. This bit right here, I would recommend the transition bit from as a long 3-year-old when they're getting ready to show. It's not a severe bit, but you really want to get your horse's mouth a good feel on your horse's mouth before you go to something like this. I'm Mike Crumpler from Burnett, Texas, and this is Talking a Bit.
The Talking a Bit segment is designed to let you know what trainers consider to be their favorite bit and what their uses are. Be sure and talk with your trainer to see what bit works best for you and your horse. Well, that's our show for this week, folks. I want to say a big thank you to Tim and Becky Carlton for putting on a great jackpot cutting venue there in Salisbury, North Carolina at their home. They are responsible for bringing a lot of people into the sport of cutting, giving them a grassroots start so they've got a place to grow. Whenever you plant a seed, it will grow. And that's what Tim and Becky Carlton are doing. This whole episode is brought to you by Roger Peters Livestock Insurers. Remember, no vet checks up to $100,000 in value. Doesn't matter if it's catalog sale or private treaty. They've been an agent for Great American Insurance for over 35 years. That's who you want insuring your performance horse. All you got to do is go to www.rogerpeterslivestockins.com. Talk to Stacy or Connie. They'll get you taken care of. All they're going to do is have you sign a fax, send it back, and you're insured. It's that easy. Be sure and join us right here next week. This is where we'll be cutting up.
Watch those legs go, 2.5 in the frame. If you can't cut it, move out the way. Let me in there, get out my way. Got me a cutting horse and we have style. We have technique, we're gonna dance a while. Dance, dance, cutting horse dance. To the left, to the right, cutting horse dance. Bounce, bounce, the cutting horse dance. Left, right, let's dance. Let's dance. Dance, dance, cutting horse dance. To the left, to the right, cutting horse dance. Bounce, bounce, the cutting horse dance. Left, right, let's do it again.
Be sure and go to Cuttin Up TV's Facebook page and like us.